Hi, T.O.T. Carlson here. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, we get the sequel to Jaws in 4K. We already got the original film in 4K a few years ago, but today we're looking at Jaws 2, released in 1978. A sequel that didn't necessarily need to exist as it was essentially a moneymaker, but it made a ton of money. The Jaws sequels tend to get a really bad reputation, but how is Jaws 2? We're going to do an unboxing, and I'll share my opinions on the movie and let you know if I recommend this package. Nice cover art there. This is the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. Got the water skier there, and I like the way that looks. Top of the backing card, the spine. Here's the backing card. Back of the Steelbook itself has a shark fin, simple and to the point. We do get a digital code of the film as well. And we get 2 discs in this package. Of course, we get our 4K Ultra High Def disc of the movie. And the art on there is like the water skier. That's like the original movie poster art. And then we also get the Universal Blu-ray disc of the film as well. From what I can tell, this is identical to the one that came out probably back in 2016 or so. And underneath the discs, inside the package, we've got a shot of Chief Brody on the beach wielding his gun, preparing to shoot at what he believes to be the shark. I'm going to read the description of the film as follows from the backing card. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, the horror is far from over as Roy Scheider, Lorraine Gary, and Murray Hamilton reprise their iconic roles in Jaws 2. 4 years after the great white shark terrorized the small resort town of Amity, unsuspecting vacationers begin disappearing in an all-too-familiar fashion. Police Chief Brody finds himself in a race against time when a new shark attacks 10 sailboats manned by teenagers, including his own 2 sons. The same heart-stopping suspense and gripping adventure that enthralled movie audiences throughout the world in Jaws returns in this worthy sequel to the original motion picture classic. I will get this out of the way first. Nothing can ever top the original Jaws. That's a true Hollywood classic, of course, directed by the great Steven Spielberg, who pretty much refused to return for the sequel. Instead, we get Jenno Schwartz in the director's chair, best known as a TV director who worked on shows like Night Gallery back in the day. The cast, of course, is rounded out by a lot of people who appeared in the original Jaws, including Roy Scheider as Police Chief Brody, Lorraine Gary reprising her role as Ellen Brody, his wife, Murray Hamilton reprising the role of Mayor Vaughn, and Jeffrey Kramer reprising the role of Deputy Hendricks. There are a few other lesser characters who reprise their roles as well. This movie takes a slightly different approach because it focuses mainly on a group of teenagers, particularly in its latter half, who find themselves stranded at sea and, of course, have to face potential shark attacks and mortal danger. The movie, again, even in terms of its storytelling, takes a different approach because Spielberg's movie, of course, barely showed the shark at all, using first-person perspective instead to make up for the lack of models that didn't work, which ironically actually made the film so much better. We still get some of those first-person perspective shots, but they don't really try to hide the shark this time around because they figured trying to do the same thing again wasn't going to be as effective. And personally, I think that works to the movie's benefit. I once read a comment that said something like, Jaws 2 is the movie we would have gotten if the sharks in Jaws actually worked. John Williams even returned to score the film, and that's certainly a good thing, one of Hollywood's all-time great composers. I think the guy's in his 90s now, and he's still working. He actually just scored the new Indiana Jones film not too long ago. Now, again, a sequel to Jaws is never going to touch the original. There are some great suspense sequences despite that, and this movie is leaps and bounds ahead of the subsequent 2 Jaws sequels, Jaws 3D and Jaws the Revenge, both of which are absolutely terrible and which I do not rewatch on a regular basis. The movie was also the feature film debut for actor Keith Gordon, probably best known in the 80s for his roles in movies like Christine and Back to School. So even if the teenagers are a bit stereotypical and overblown at times, and the movie has far too many of them, I admit I did find myself rooting for the shark on a few occasions. Overall, Jaws 2 is a solid film, and one that actually is better than its reputation may convince you. Now, a few years ago, the original Jaws got a full-on, big-time remaster for its Blu-ray and eventually 4K release. And I have to say, this is a marginal uptick over the previously released Blu-ray. You do get more natural colors, and of course, the light touch of HDR does make a difference in some scenes. It's just HDR on here. There's no Dolby Vision, but luckily it's still a pretty good looking package overall. So any fans of Jaws 2, I think, will be happy with what they get in this package. The supplement package is carried over from the DVD and Blu-ray releases of Jaws 2, and they actually put the bonus features on the 4K disc, which I do appreciate. We get deleted scenes, some making of, behind the scenes featurettes, a looking back featurette with Keith Gordon, some storyboards, trailers. I mean, it would have been nice to get some new extras because these go back to the DVD era, but they are a nice touch, and I think fans will want to watch them at least once. Again, Jaws 2 is actually a pretty solid sequel despite what you may have been told or heard from critics, and I do recommend this one. The 4K still comes recommended, and I think fans will be happy with what they get. Are you a fan of Jaws 2? Do you think this is better than the other Jaws sequels? Do you think it even holds a candle to the original? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you find it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.